I'm Laura, and I'm new on YouTube. And I just wanted to do a quick video to introduce myself really, and just to tell you a little bit more about who I am and about what I do, and a bit about my background and how I ended up being, well, here literally in Vietnam and here on this channel and doing the work that I'm doing. So currently you see I'm outside my apartment building. So I am right now in Ho Chi Minh City, Saigon, Ho Chi Minh City in Vietnam. It's in the south of Vietnam. It's the second city here. The capital is Hanoi. And you'll be able to tell that I'm a UK expat over here. We moved to Ho Chi Minh City in August. It was August 2020. So my husband got a job over here in January 2020, BC. So it's not quite fair to say we had no idea what was coming, because he's a teacher in the British International School here. And as when he did his interview, the school was in lockdown, so it was in Zoom. Normally they fly to London and you go down and have the interview, but they all did it online. But I don't really think any of us knew what there was to expect over the next few months. So yeah, we did the lockdown one in the UK whilst packing up our house with our 3 kids. Battery. We did our lockdown in the UK, and then we flew out to Vietnam on one of the first flights out, actually, at the start of August. We did our 2 weeks, 5 people, 1 hotel room. That was a COVID test every 3 days, I think, but I think I might have blocked that out. And and then we were released into the wild. So we found ourselves here. I had given up my tutoring role in the UK, although some of my students actually, bless them, they came with me, and I teach them early in the morning their time and late in the evening our time. And yeah, we do maths over Zoom. So my background, before I started doing the after parenting mentoring, I was a police youth liaison officer, a police staff officer in High Wycombe at Thames Valley Police, and I worked with young people who were at risk of being radicalised from all different backgrounds. My degree is from SOAS, which is a School of Oriental and African Studies, and it's Arabic and Persian. But I can tell you that all mechanisms for radicalisation is basically the same, but different content. It is heartening and depressing. So that work that I did with the Thames Valley was life-changing and incredible, and there was such an impact. But what I kept noticing was that we had about, say, 4 monthly cycles, and the same kids would, they come through and they go out and they come back and then they go out, and you'd have such high hopes, and then we'd see them again. And we worked quite closely with youth offending teams, because it's adjacent, it's similar. And same thing, we all used to talk about the revolving door, and getting out of the situations that the children and young people were in the first place. So I decided that to have a bigger impact on my community, I would move careers, and I became a teacher. And my thinking was, if I get 30 kids for a year, and then see them through, even when they're not in my class anymore, see them in assembly and in the hallways and be part of their lives. I could get these 30 children ish, and I could really help them with what I noticed was the issues with the children and the young people that were coming through our doors constantly in the police. And they were mostly poor literacy, poor numeracy, and lack of critical thinking skills. So they were just, taking what an authority figure told them and just going with it. Because, fourth thing, shockingly low self-esteem, like shockingly low self-esteem, and they didn't really have much control over their lives. Not all of them lived in poverty, but yeah, a lot of them did. So I became a teacher, and I did enjoy that. I really did enjoy that for a few years, but I became, glossing over a whole load of stuff, I became disenfranchised with that, and as the children became more and more data points. And I know this is talked about a lot, so I won't harp on about it, but I think the end of my teaching career was my master's in education because I did my child development studies, I did research methods, I did my own learning about the curriculum and how it ties in with brain development, neural development and physical development. I was working with 7 to 11-year-olds at that point, and it didn't match, and I felt increasingly like I couldn't do it as an authority figure going in. And then I had my own children, and I took that as the graceful way to bow out for a few years to reassess whether I wanted to carry on. And I did 6 years as a stay-at-home mum, and now ready to come back into the world of paid work and making an impact outside of my home. And the way that I have discovered and chosen to do this is to work with people in my consultancy, which is called The After. And The After is for families, particularly I work with parents 1-to-1 or 1-to-2. So I work with families who are struggling with disconnect, and they're arguing, they're repeating the same cycles. That's really key. It's the same cycles. It's parents who are aware that they are not able to show up right now as their best selves, and their kids are, the phrase, they're always pushing my buttons, they're really winding me up. I just can't work out how to cope with this behaviour. So the children are pulling away, the parents don't really know what to do. I work especially with families who have had some form of well, now we're in like coronavirus times, that's basically everybody, but some kind of really stressful event, such as, I don't know, something like a car accident that has, the event is done, the leg is healed or whatever, everybody's out of hospital, we're all going back to work or back to school, assuming schools are open at that point, and all support has been removed because the emergency teams have left now. Or if there's been some form of, say, mental health crisis and the families have accessed support. In the UK it's called CAMS, Children and Adolescent Mental Health Services, which is chronically underfunded, and I can say this hand on heart as a teacher and a member of countless Team Around the Child structures. It's so hard to get support, and if you do qualify support, you tend to be then put on a waiting list, and things have to get to a real crisis head, and then your help is parachuted in, the immediate fire is fought, and then they all go because they move on to the next team, and that is the after, where you're left. You're left in a point where it's not all okay. It is all okay, but it's not all okay, and you don't know where to move forward. And that's where I help. And it doesn't have to be a flashbulb event. It could be, and right now most of my clients are just people living through COVID. Just, the children are so stressed out with going to school, parents are furloughed or losing jobs or having hours cut. Prices of food and things haven't gone down. If anything, it's harder to get staples, so people are buying, the more expensive, like Tesco's Finest flour, because you can't buy the basics that we used to get. So people have all kinds of stresses right now, and we're trying to manage our children's mental health and your own mental health, and have a relationship with your spouse if you have one. and living in, certainly in the UK right now, I'm recording this, it's the 21st of January 2021, so the UK right now is in lockdown. I know a lot of different states in the US are in lockdown. Europe, I don't know about the individual countries, but I think a lot of European nation states are locked down. Our support mechanisms are taken, people are working from home, and you know, of course, all these tensions that were bubbling before are now coming to the fore. And you don't have to live like that. There are ways and things that we can do to manage that situation so that I'm talking to parents here, are shored up from the inside, so that you are healed from your old wounds, and you're able to parent and move forward in a conscious parenting way without punishments and shouting and cycles of this constant behavior of, you know, trying hard, explosion, guilt, trying hard, explosion, guilt. You're trying and just repeating these cycles. And this is where the brilliant work of the AFDA, I know I'm biased, but it's changed my life, and I know it's already changing other people's lives. This is where this brilliant work comes in, because we conscious parents, we know that issues within the family and with parenting, it's not about the kids. It's really not about the kids. It's about us, and as parents and carers, grandmas, granddads. I'm hoping to roll out some training for teaching staff and youth work staff. So anybody supporting young people, it's our stories and our backgrounds and our secret inner wounds. That is what is playing. You know, when we say, oh, you're really pushing my buttons, kid, they are, because their behavior is doing something, because they are acting from a place of their own hurt. But they didn't put that button there. They don't know they're pressing it. They just know that they're tired, or they're sad, or they're hungry, or somebody has taken their toy, or they feel uncomfortable about something, and they are acting in a way which is in alignment with how children should act, and inadvertently they are pushing our buttons. So my programs, right now I have a 6-week program which is called Deactivate Triggers, Activate Love, because of course we love our children. Nobody watching this, nobody taking the time to watch this video is doing it if they don't love their children. But sometimes all the behavior and the issues and all the stuff that we carry and that we're exposed to, it gets in the way of showing that love and of leading our families with love. So the 6-week program and the 12-week program, which will be coming out around, I guess, March or April. But these are about us as adults. I work 1-to-1 and 1-to-2. If it's a couple who'd like to sit together and grow together, we work out where these triggers are and where they came from. And invariably they come from that psychological emotional blueprint that is laid down in our subconscious from up to the age of about 7 to 10. Mosquito, sorry. And we're just carrying these stories around, and we don't even know, which is why I have the program. Mosquito. Which is why I have the program, because I work 1-to-1 so that we can, and 1-to-2 so that we can really get into it and work out where these stories, where these cycles of push the button, blow up, behavior that we as parents regret later, and then guilt, why these cycles keep going. And it's because these wounds are still there from when we were children. And so we go deep, we do our own inner healing work, and you learn how to release yourself from the stories that your subconscious has been telling you in order to keep you safe. It's not punishing you, it's not negative, it's just trying to keep you safe and stop you from going into scary, new, change situations. But the good thing is that you don't have to be at the mercy of stories that were laid down by parents who may or may not have had full emotional maturity themselves when they were parenting. Certainly our parents' generation didn't really have that many skills gifted to them by their previous generation, and they loved us the best that they could. And we still, every human on the planet has come out with some wounds. So we heal them, and then we move on in the program to I teach you some parenting toolkit and child psychology and young people. It depends, again, it's tailored to your needs and who you live with. You know, working with teens, tips, so you have this toolkit. So you've healed yourself, you have this toolkit, and we make a plan for how you can move forward in your own self-healing and to lead your family. It is the whole conscious parenting and self-healing movement. It's changing the world, and I am so proud to be part of it. It feels right now like my background and my history and all my research and my master's in child development and my practice in working with the police and young offenders, and then working with children and young people in primary and secondary schools, and the home educating, because we world school R3. It's all come into place to be right here, right now. And you have somehow found yourself to this video, and I believe that we're supposed to be here right now because we are changing the world, changing the next generation by freeing the next generation from our adult stuff and also from healing our own wounds so that we can move on and be productive, fearless action takers as we move forward in our lives. So every few days I'm going to put another video up just to kind of introduce myself, and every Sunday I will be putting up a half-an-hour training here, and they will have resources. I'm not actually quite sure how to add resources yet to YouTube, but I will add them, and the website is being made right now. The 6-week program is being tested out on my first round of clients, and we're changing people, psyches, home lives already. So if you want to be in on it, then you'll see the contact details through the YouTube channel. And come find me I'm on Instagram, which it's at the.after.consulting. I can't believe I'm going to say this, but if you subscribe to my channel, then you will be notified each week when the parenting advice and trainings come up. There will be videos on kind of the micro, you know, the nuts and bolts of how to get my kids out the door without having an argument, how to get through a meltdown in a conscious and gentle parenting way and not join them, which is easy to do. There's also going to be macro thoughts like, what is reparenting? What is the subconscious? And some philosophical, thought-provoking discussions. So yeah, join in. I'm hoping that we can build a real great community and all of us move forward together. Okay, thank you so much for your time, and I will see you very soon. At the very latest, I will be seeing you on Sunday when the new training comes out, so keep an eye out for that. Thank you, bye. Bye.